Hello, welcome to Falcon Blues TV. As you can see, I'm not joined by Paul today because he's down with the lurgy. Paul, wish you all the best, mate. Hopefully be back on the sex layer real soon. Instead, I'm joined by our super stato, Callum. So Callum, thanks for coming back, mate.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Did you enjoy it that much that you decided to come back and enjoy it?
I loved it.
Excellent, excellent. So, we're just going to go over, you know, Callum again has come up with some great work. Better than what we had last time. We got diagrams and everything. It's fucking amazing. So we're just going to talk about the Chelsea game and 0-0. Pretty decent game in the end, mate. I thought we've gone to Stamford Bridge dozens of times and just gone, nah, shut up shop and damage limitation. Before we get into it, what was your overall thoughts on it?
I was really impressed, to be honest. I know that we've obviously been on a bit of form, but you're always wary of going to Chelsea, aren't you? Because I think the record is something like 24 years. It's like since we've won there, or whatever type thing. So
yeah, we were talking about that.
It's like 94 with Paul Ryder at 1-0. So
yeah.
I think that's like the second biggest, longest streak behind Leeds. I think Leeds was more than that. I think Leeds was like 30 until obviously Rooney scored. So it's a place that you don't want to go, and you know, under Sarri, you know, Chelsea playing really good football, and I think that at the moment, I think the second top scorers in the league at the moment, behind Manchester City. So 27 goals, I think, in home and away. So
to come away with a clean sheet.
Yeah, well, the first team to do so. First
exactly,
team, yeah.
And with Barcelona playing against them, United, City, Liverpool, and we're the ones who've done it.
Yeah.
I think we were unlucky. I thought, you know, we had our chances. Chelsea definitely had their chances in the second half, but I thought, you know, we rolled our luck a couple of times. I think we could have nicked that with the right kind of temperament up front.
I think we just missed that killer instinct in front of goal. Bernard being the main one, like what a chance that is.
I think the way it bounced to him, it was just so awkward, and it was like trying to get a 5-foot fella to get a ball that was 6 foot in the air. You know what I mean?
I think he's just panicked though. I don't think he's realised how much time he's got. I think he thinks he's actually marked. When the ball comes in, and he's just gone to hit it first time, and he actually could have just taken a touch, brought it down, and set it for Richarlison or Walcott, who's in the box. So, you know, disappointed with that, but you know, we come away with a point, and you take that before the game.
Oh, definitely. So, so let's have a look at the sides as it lines up. So, if this decides to work for me, hang on. I knew this would happen. Technical glitch. Must work. There we go. I'm going to use the keyboard instead because you know this is shite. Right, so talk us through this Chelsea starting 11 then.
I think it's the same back four, isn't it? That started against United. You look all over the park, obviously. Hazard obviously came back in. He played against Palace, didn't he? I think he come on as a sub.
Yeah.
So he was back in. Kovacevic was a mad one for me for him bringing him in, but I'm guessing in terms of, you know, our ex-player Barkley, I'm guessing maybe he thought it was too much for him to play against us with the nerves and all that kind of stuff. So that was an interesting one for me. I didn't think he'd come in. I thought he would maybe keep Pedro in type thing or whatever type thing. So strong side, really strong, and you know, you say like a 4-3-3, and you know, if you compare it to Everton's in terms of how they played, you have obviously Walcott on the right, Bernard left, Richarlison down the middle. If you notice, Bernard and Walcott, they always stay really wide and hog the touchline. These three don't.
No, they're very direct. They're right through the middle, aren't they?
I watched these against Palace, and they placed themselves with the back four. They said that's Everton or Palace. They placed themselves in between the gaps of each one and make it really difficult, because with the problem you've got then is that if your right back gets dragged out, you've literally got 3v3 in the middle. So that's obviously what we'll go over in a minute, but you know, centrally, you know, really strong, and I think this guy Willian, I think he's an absolute top player. For me, one of the most underrated players. But obviously I think Jorginho is the main man for them in terms of playing through the thirds, getting the ball from the back to the front, and again we'll go on to discuss that further as we go on.
And this is how we lines up for the Tricky Blues. So we've got 4-5-1. It's not a formation I've normally seen. We're normally a bit more, you know, still playing the one up front, but it's this three. It's like Sigurdsson right in the middle, rather than you know, he is generally just in behind Richarlison. He was like more central. To that,
and I think that, you know, you needed that body in there against their three. So you know, he's dropped in there, hasn't he? So, but as we go on in a bit, we'll see that obviously actually how they set up, it's not even a 4-5-1 in the end, it's actually a 4-4-2. Out of possession, how they set up just to overload Chelsea in the middle part of the pitch. So obviously Digne and Coleman for me was the key areas. For me, I think obviously we played Manchester United, didn't we? And they were trying to fly up, you know, getting high and wide as much as they can. Obviously the second goal, or was it the first goal when the penalty wasn't for Martial, where Coleman's bombed on and you got him behind. So I was really cautious of that, of how Silva would approach it, because I knew that if he would have obviously let both of them go at the same time, we would have had real problems and would have been overloaded in wide areas. So it was important for them to be time when they went forward, really, and maybe even like Chelsea do. Why they're so good at it is, you know, if Azpilicueta goes down the right, they keep Alonso in, so you literally got 3 at the back. Whereas Everton just go, both of them go, and then you're isolated. But all the talk was about this man, wasn't it? Coming in, Mina. You said a few weeks ago, you know, how is he going to get in the team? Well, he's getting in because he's getting in because obviously Zuma couldn't play, could he? So massive game for him. But did he have a couple of minutes in that midweek game to?
No, he played the whole game. I think he played
the whole
that game. It was the game before.
The game before he came for a few minutes. So in terms of, you know, Premier League match fitness, you know, your first game you're coming in against Chelsea. You know, and you think how long is he going to last for?
That reminds me almost of like Seamus Coleman's debut against Benfica. You know what I mean? He got absolutely rinsed. And I was almost half expecting it with me, because I'm thinking, is he going to be up to the pace? Is he going to be ready to go? And I think he surpassed a lot of expectations and surprised a few people. It was really good.
You look at it, we'll go on to performance in it, but if you look at him, obviously, we'll go on to it in a bit, but Zuma probably struggled to get back in.
It's a good selection, I think, to have though, but I think Zuma being the one on loan isn't that bad in the end. You know, if he's not doesn't want to stay at Everton, then, you know, we've got 2 centre halves in there already. We've got Jagielka back as well. So go on then, let's talk us through. So we're looking at the Palace game here, aren't we? So this is actually Chelsea versus Palace.
So I analysed this so much, to be honest, and I looked at how they set up against Chelsea and obviously how Chelsea caused them problems. And in terms of the setup, Palace, they did set up in the same formation, not to possession it, in a 4-4-2, but just didn't do it that well. So when we had Chelsea play, we said before, didn't we, about Jorginho, and he's the main player for them. They get the ball, obviously, for two centre-backs, into Rudiger, into Luiz, play into Jorginho, and then you go from there then. So in this picture here, Jorginho's on it. You've obviously got your midfielders in here, so you've got Barkley as your 3. You've got Barkley out of the picture, Kante 3 in there. And the most notable, like we said before, is these players, how narrow they are. So what happens is, Pedro comes in to these areas here, and Willian does as well. And what that does for Palace, it makes them obviously tuck in, where now the width is on the right hand side. And this is a tactic that they use a lot in Chelsea when it is compacting them central areas. This time it's Azpilicueta. So all the space he's got down the side, they really overcompensated in there to go to Azpilicueta, obviously then get down the side and do it that way. And he really dragged Crystal Palace around, because even when it did go wide and then Palace, you know, pressed them wide there, he'd come back through, and then he would eventually find the gaps through Willian and stuff. So this is obviously one of the moves with Jorginho, but you can look at, you know, how much of a good player he is. Look at the distance here that he's got there, to be a player of his quality, to not have any pressure on the ball. He's making the game too easy for him, and he was doing that all game. He was spreading from right to left, he was playing through balls when he could, and for me, you know, it was a cause of Palace's downfall really in that game, and not getting hold and getting to grips with Jorginho.
Sounds okay. So this similar situation. What you're saying about you're trying to build up to. So
this is showing an example of obviously how to get Jorginho on the ball. So in here they've gone to play out from the back, Chelsea, and obviously these are press with the 2, which there's no point in even doing that, because all Chelsea do now is do the back 3. So we've got Rudiger here, Luiz drops in centrally, and then obviously then Alonso's the free man on the outside. So potentially you've got a 4v2, and that's what you've got. They're not pressing, they're just...
this distance between them is just a waste of time.
It's a waste of time, and the space will show in a second as well. So 4v2, naturally this is what Chelsea would do, into the first line, then can they find Jorginho, and we go on to the next picture. So this is what they do. So they played off from the back, it's gone to Alonso. So you said about Townsend and Zaha being a 2, and that's absolutely fine. how deep the midfield line is. So if you're going to press with the two, okay, we'll push these up and squeeze the space in here, but they don't. Goes into Alonso, these four now drop off. Again, your main guy, Jorginho, you know, you give him so much time and space to receive the ball. And obviously again on this side, on the left hand side, we've got obviously keeping the width as well, obviously Kante in here. So ball gets popped in, he's got loads of time. You're looking at these four, and the distance between there and there is obviously quite big. He's being occupied now by the wide player in there, so again he's unsure of whether to tuck in or whether to go wide, and instead the ball goes inside. And this is a key area now for Jorginho in terms of how he plays. So ball goes inside on the next picture, and now he combines with Hazard, so he finds that pocket. Hazard with that little trick that he does when it gets played into him, and he just steps over the ball, knows where Morata is, so he's breaking the midfield line, goes into Morata, and now back into Hazard where he attacks into the space. And it was as easy as that really. Within 2 or 3 passes they were through and creating chances. And I think that, you know, Silva would have been looking at these games thinking, you know, Hazard, top player, how can we nullify him and how can we stop him getting on the ball? And obviously they set up a plan, obviously, to go and do that. So,
and I thought from that then we did that quite effectively. We'll go on to this next one as well.
This is just for Morata, this one. So in terms of, again, denying space, but more so behind your back line. So in here, obviously they played through, and then obviously they're getting into wide areas. Morata as a forward, for me, he can finish. Some obviously Chelsea fans don't really rate him, whatever, but he is a real player who can get him behind. And again, looking at, you know, Everton's back four is how high up the pitch do they press, because you're always prone then to that ball in behind. And this happened a couple of times for Chelsea, where you can see obviously this is Saka getting dragged out, 2 centre backs here, and you've got one runner, 2, and obviously then Pedro is the middle player on the ball. And all that is now, it's a little blindside run from Morata in behind this defender. It's called a blindside run because obviously he's looking at the ball and you can't see that run in there. So plays it in behind, and that leads to a really good chance for Morata. I think the keeper blocks it as it goes in. So these are all things that I picked up on, and Silva would have really been looking at and thinking, okay, we need to attack, we need to try and score, but at the same time we need to be really careful in terms of what fullbacks we send, and if we do send fullbacks, what cover have we got for these type of areas to prevent these type of passes in behind. Because obviously you see in there he's through on goal, isn't he? So yeah,
spot on. So leads on nicely to how Everton combated all of this.
Yeah, so you can see at the start when he said to me about the ball going into these two. So you look at the picture from before in terms of Townsend and Zaha, do a lot further up the pitch. I think Everton did do that at the start potentially, and if 1 or 2 of the playing off from the back, but potentially throughout the game it was this kind of block. So it was sort of a playing in a deep block. So they're happy to obviously let Luiz have the ball. He's the best passer of the ball, so he's always the most prominent one who will bring it out. Whether he can pass, but it's always this guy, Luiz, who can spread balls. He can play through lines and stuff. So if you look at here with the 2 Richarlison and Sigurdsson, we said before, they got a 4-5-1, 4-4-2 now, for the simple reason for these two to stop your man in yellow there, Jorginho getting the ball, and you can see him, he's wanting to get on the ball in there. These two are too narrow, it can't happen. Kovacevic looking to get on as well, and he's screened by Sigurdsson. The difference in this one though, for Everton, is the midfield 4 and the angles and distance in between them. So he's in there, he's just in behind, and then Garner covering again. But notice these 2 players, Bernard and Walcott, they're ready for it because they know he's not going to go centrally. They know he's not going to. They know he's going to go into a wide area. So look at Bernard now. He's ready. He's on the front foot for when it does go in there. Because the problem is, if it does go in there now, he's going to play behind into Willian. So what he does is instead, it's an arced run to then show him inside into bodies. And we've obviously got the overload. If he goes and does that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially against 2 centre midfielders. And that was really the story of the first half. And Chelsea got really, really frustrated because when they go in the wide area, we pressed them anyway, and we won a lot of balls back. And I think in one of them, Luiz tries to play a sort of a long diagonal, and we sort of get in with Richarlison. I think it's a bad passing, and it sends him wide. So So yeah, that was the, you know, real good shape, and it would have been many hours on the training ground, I think, in terms of how can we stop that play through the third and really disrupt Chelsea's rhythm, really.
I think when you're saying that with Luis being the key man there, I think we exposed him a fair bit throughout the game. And he looked like the weak link, even though he's the one who will bring the ball forward.
And I totally agree with that, because he's a lot quicker, Rudiger, as well. I think defensively, he's probably not as good as Rudiger, but he's probably better at bringing the ball out from the back. Yeah,
so we exposed a lot of that, because you could tell everyone in the ground was seeing, get on Luis, start making mistakes out of him, and, you know, almost worked to our advantage.
But definitely agree. So yeah, I know going into that, you know, really impressed with the shape, and, you know, Sigurdsson had to sacrifice a lot of his game, but most importantly though, I thought Richarlison was fantastic in doing, you know, and I think that, you know, being as a wide player or now as a 9, to have that, you know, mentality of, I'm now sort of playing as a central midfielder in most cases, and I'm having to really be switched on, because if he's not, the ball then goes in and it's probably an attack, so you've got to really work as a 2, and obviously your 4 have got to work as well, and I think that was the difference between Palace and Everton. Everton really nailed it really in terms of the discipline, the angles and distance, and obviously throughout the game obviously got better and better. So
spot on. So what was the main thing that we needed to do throughout the whole game? It doesn't even matter what team you're at. I think the one tactic that you've got is stop him. Stop Eden Hazard, and you've got a chance of getting something out of Chelsea. And that lad is fucking magic. I mean, to me, he's the best player in the league. I think he is absolutely amazing. He's so quick on the ball. He's one step ahead every time. But we did what we needed to do.
I think in terms of Hazard, you know, he's similar to a few other players in the Premier League where, you know, he's quick, he's got pace, but in the thing about these type of players is that when they're so quick, they draw a lot of players towards the ball. So when you do that, if they're clever and you can offload the ball, you've then got overloads in other areas type thing, and that's what Hazard does so well. But again, you know, we defended really well with the midfield 4, but look at this, you know, as soon as it goes into Hazard and he actually found that pass, look at the players behind the ball. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, is your back 4. You've got Walcott and Narrow, you've got Garner, you've got Sigurdsson, you've got out of the pitch here, obviously Richarlison, and you've got Gomez, and literally Everton just really swarmed around them, flooded them, but we're also cutting off other types of passes. So you can obviously see Digne there, he's thinking, okay, if he does get it, is that pass on? So he's sort of doing half and half between just seeing what's going to happen in this situation.
Just blocking the line of vision, isn't it?
And that passing line. So you've got obviously Morata in here, Mina's obviously on the front foot, and so is Keane in there as well. So really compact, congested, but really well planned as well. And you can see in here now in the second picture, which is obviously 2 seconds later, where it's gone in, Gomez steps across, Everton swarm the ball, Richarlison runs back in, and then we win it. And again, that was a massive story the first half. They just couldn't get them players on the ball for the likes of Hazard and Morata to combine to try and get behind that back line. So Everton in that sense were absolutely fantastic.
Sounds. And then that led us on to our man of the match in the end. And what a fucking debut in the end. Like as we literally were saying just before, you just didn't know what to expect with the time, you know, the Premier League minutes that he's had. And you know, he won everything in the air. He was strong, he was confident. He can play a pass as well.
I think he played about,
and he can tackle.
I think he played about five long balls in the game, and throughout the game I think he came off with 91% pass completion. So, you know, he did do really well, and for me, surprised me the most was he was really comfortable in possession as well. But like under pressure, he wouldn't panic. He'd take an extra touch if he needed it.
That's it. I think there was one where I forget who was closing him down, and he literally just took a step back, took the ball to one side, and then rather than trying to play it wide, like outside with his left, he just went, I'll put it on my right and put it to Digne. And it was just like, how fucking confident was that? It means on his debut against Chelsea, with players closing down like that, and his pressure was there and he was fine. I think we've got the makings of a decent fucking team here now, mate.
And it's you know what's surprising me is that obviously whoever Silva's bringing at the moment, they are really good buys, aren't they? you know, touch wood, you know, there's not going to be any bad ones, you know.
I mean, even Kurt Zuma surprised me. He had a couple of shaky games to start, but I think that's just getting the Stoke out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did have a rough season with Stoke, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But before that, you knew he was a good centre half.
Yeah.
He was strong, he's quick, he's good in the air. And, you know, he's done really well. But then you look at, you know, Gomez, Digne, Richarlison, Bernard. It's like, fucking hell. And I think the difference to last season is night and day. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that the difference is as well, in terms of the players coming in, the personnel, they're really starting to gel now.
Yeah.
They really are. And I think that when he first came in Silver, I thought it would have took a lot more time. And you can see them now nicely, you know, keeping that same team. They're all gelling. Yeah. The movements, the patterns are better. You've got that sort of, not the sixth sense, but like, you know, a sense of where players are going to be on the pitch. Yeah. You know, you see the goal of the week against, was it Brighton? From the corner, like.
We scored from a corner. That's what it was. Yeah. We're going to hold that one. Yeah. But yeah, the break from Sigurdsson, Bernard being there, and Richarlison's run from the edge of the 6-yard box as well. All knew where they were. All knew when to run. You know, it fills you with confidence, doesn't it? Yeah. Makes a change. Yeah. But and that brings us on to what we've got coming next. So we're sitting happily in 9th. Probably about right for where we should be about now. Yeah, 9th, I'm thinking.
And the games that we've had as well. You know, we've played away now, so we've got Chelsea away out of the way, United away out of the way, and Arsenal. Yeah. So you know, big games against them teams. They're gone now, so we've obviously got to play them at home. So you know, you take that. I
think dropping the silly points. But I think, again, you've got to look at that, okay, that was early in the season, we were still trying to get this team. Yeah. Since then, we've lost 1 out of the last 4 or 5, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, United won, yeah.
So United was the last team we lost to. And, you know, we're going from strength to strength, and you can see it now. So this doesn't worry me at the moment. You know, these will start to fade away. Bournemouth and Watford most certainly will. Yeah. You know, United are starting to get a run of form, which is, you know, really good to see.
But then got absolutely tonked the other day against Manchester City at the same time, didn't he? So,
you know, but you'd expect United to be up there. You know, again, you know, we should be in the 6th, 7th place at the moment. And then I think by Christmas, once we've seen, as we can see from the run of fixtures, you know, Cardiff next week, then we go on to the shite. Then we've got Newcastle at home, Watford at home, and City away.
They're the big games, aren't they? Yeah. Obviously, they're all big games, but in terms of keeping momentum, you know, these 3 here are games where you've got to get maximum points in them games. No disrespect to Watford, Newcastle or Cardiff, because they're going to be very difficult games, and the potential, you know, banana skin for us, like Cardiff coming to us, they're going to get a lot of free kicks, they're going to be really direct, they're going to really challenge on corners, and that worries me in that game really in terms of set pieces.
It's almost similar to what we thought, I thought similar with Brighton, and then also with Huddersfield. Yeah, you know, they were games where we thought, you know, these are bankers. Yeah. We should be walking away with 3 points, no problem. Yeah, we've got to be careful, especially coming back from an international break as well. I know it's only a week, but you know, it's that'll be a tough game. I think after them getting that win last week in the last minute. Yeah, you know, that'll fill them with loads of confidence.
It'll be a totally different game than what we played. I think you know, they'll come and they'll defend in the deep block, and they will just try and win free kicks, and they'll just be putting it in our box all the time. So it'll be interesting to see how Silva lines up for that game, whether he just decides to go, you know, 1 or 3 centre backs and then play with 2 up top, potentially, and pin them back type thing. So we'll see how that goes. But he might have to change obviously the formation. But
things be based on injuries at the moment as well. But you know, going back to the Chelsea game in general, just the officials were just a farce. You know, the challenge more. You can't say any more than that. And the whole thing was just an absolute shambles. You know, the tackle on Walcott, the tackle on Sigurdsson. You know, soft lads going down like a sack of shit just from our little fella who didn't even touch him. You know, it's pathetic to see, and it's referees letting this stuff go. And not, you know. And did you read it earlier? The referee that got suspended because he lost his coin. Oh yeah. So he didn't do a coin toss, so he did rock, paper, scissors instead. I mean, fucking hell. Not like the real things that, you know, that are important. Like, we'll just rock, paper, scissors to fucking decide who kicks off.
Well, the Sigurdsson one, for me, that could have been like an end of season. That he could have totally been out.
I thought the Walcott one was worse.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a free kick, was it?
Didn't get nothing for it, no.
And he's come from right behind him as well, so there was some terrible talent in that game, and some mad decisions as well, I think, in that game, but you know, at least we, you know, came through with the point. But I think Sigurdsson's sort of been assessed now, isn't he, for the next few games and stuff. But I think come on in that game in Chelsea as well, I thought Lookman was quality, and you know, when he came on.
Yeah, as we were saying before we came on, it's like it seems like he's done more in those cameos than Walcott has in 3 or 4 games, and that to me, I think, you know, give him a chance against Cardiff then.
Yeah,
give him a start.
I think he's got to.
That just becomes then the kick up the arse that Walcott probably needs.
Yeah. You
know, he's probably thinking, oh well, I'm first, one of the first on the team sheet because of who I am, sort of thing. Well, you know, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's a player. You'll get a handful of good games out of him every season with Walcott, and that isn't just something you'll get because he's at Everton. It's something he's done his whole career. He's always been a bag full of games, and that's your lot. Yeah. You know, and he'll take 5, 6, 7, 8 chances to score 1 goal.
Yeah. Was that chance when he went through against Chelsea? Let's come over the top. I know, like, had a bit of power on, but where he's miscontrolled it.
But that's the third time.
And you're thinking, if that's Richarlison or Sigurdsson, he's probably going to bring that down and have a crack on goal. So
that's the third time in 3 games where he's been 1-on-1 with the keeper and fluffed his lines. Yeah. So is that get him out of the firing line? Because he's going to. The more he does that, the more criticism he's going to start facing. Yeah. And you don't want it because it's going to upset a harmony that we've got going. We've got a good, solid base and a good confidence with the team. So bring him out to the firing line and bring in someone who's ready and wants to get on with it. You know, I think we'll see a different side.
I think for me, Alex, I really like Walcott. I think you know, his work ethic is fantastic. But I think if you look at, like, you know, what Lookman brings in terms of his flair and stuff and his attacking, you know, he's gone into the box against Chelsea and gone past 3 or 4 players, like, easily, the little step over he's gone through. And I'm thinking, that little bit of magic there in that final third, sometimes in them big games, you know, is probably what we're missing. Yeah. Obviously with Bernard's chance as well, where Bernard's like fallen over and missed that cutback for potentially, you know, a 1-0 win type thing. So
well, that was again that the ball that came over, it was fizzed in. He's had plenty of time to take a touch, but as he had thought he's had someone behind him. Yeah. So he's tried to take it on the half volley. It's just
rushed it, hasn't he, massively? Yeah. But I think, in terms of Silva, I think he's just wary of putting Lookman in and relying on Lookman's defensive qualities. Yeah. I think that's all it's down to. I think he knows Lookman's ability, but I think he thinks, you know, getting back and shoring up the right hand side with Coleman, I think he thinks Walcott does, because he's more experienced, can do a better job.
But I don't see that in Walcott. I don't see it because you saw it against United. Yeah. Just left Coleman completely isolated. Yeah, that was definitely. And you've seen Coleman giving him enough bollockings. Yeah. Is that Walcott's selfishness? Is that, you know, his inability to defend properly? But I look back to the Arsenal game and him and John Joe Kenny linked up well defensively. I know Walcott had that eye injury, so wasn't, you know, at the races really, but defensively he did what he needed to do, but he hasn't seemed to have done that with Coleman. Yeah. It's just odd. So get him out of the firing line and bring in Walcott and let Coleman do the defensive duties that he's meant to do. Yeah. But, you know, does that take a bit of pressure off Coleman then as well? Because it's almost like, well, he's got to do the bombing on and the defensive work. You know, I think Lookman's worth a go. He's worth a try at starting.
Well, I think if he's not going to start against Cardiff, he's not going to start at all, is he?
Exactly. He's not going to. He's certainly going to start the following week, is he?
So, what do you think about our upcoming fixtures we've got there? We've got 5 games. We've got 15 points available. What do you think we're going to get from that? We'll be happy with
9 points.
9.
And I'm not telling you where from. I'm leaving it at that.
I know where you definitely want 3 from.
Of course, mate. You know. You know what? I'll have 6 points and fuck the rest off. Yeah. You know, it's a weird run of fixtures because it goes from games where you think these are absolute bankers to think, fucking hell, these are the ones we've got to be got to start showing up in. Yeah. As well. You know, the shite and Man City. I mean, we've got a better record against Man City. Yeah. Which is, you know, they've always seen us a bit of a bogey team.
Yeah. Especially at home as well.
Yeah, the last few years. The red shite, it's a toss of a coin. isn't it? And it's whatever Everton side turn up.
We need to turn up there, because that's either going to be like we get maybe beat 2-1 or we get beat 5-0. It's going to be one of them, isn't it? And I just hope that Everton's mentality going to that game is totally on at this time and don't fold over after the first 5 minutes.
I think it's a different Everton from the last few years.
Yeah.
Even during Moyes' time, this is definitely a different Everton, and it's only, you know, Silva's first 12-15 games in charge.
Yeah.
It's shit or bust, isn't it?
Yeah.
This could be the game that changes Everton.
Yeah.
You know, the 3 points there changes this season, turns the whole season on its head.
And you definitely think, and then you can get in the top 6. I think if you're getting points there.
I think that this one, we were talking about this before, where it'd be the Cardiff game, is probably going to be one to be wary of.
Yeah.
If anything, you know, it's Cardiff got that last minute win last week, and this could be similar to Brighton, where we thought it was a potential slip up. And the same with Huddersfield, where we did. We did,
yeah. We were bored in that game as well, weren't we? So yeah, I think, you know, what you've got to look at there though as well. You've got a home fixture, across the road, home again, and again, what, an hour away. So in terms of fixtures, obviously they're very difficult in terms of obviously City and the Liverpool game, but they're not travelling far.
That's it, yeah.
So which is good, especially in I think in this busy period, we're looking at, you've got a game on the 2nd, game on the 5th, and 5 days later, and then 5 days later again. So I think this table here across the board obviously will definitely change over the Christmas period, but I think that, you know, whoever does strong over the Christmas period, this is where you start to keep your position. You start to take, otherwise if you're starting to lose 2 or 3 games over the Christmas period, you find yourself then in the bottom half. So a really important time, I think. So we take positives from the Chelsea game, but going to that game now, we've got to get 3 points.
It's over. That Chelsea game's gone.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're looking at how tight the league is at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's a win takes us into 6th.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of wins, couple of decent results, and you're in and around you're competing against Arsenal, Tottenham for this 4th, 5th, 6th place.
Yeah.
So
I think this is definitely achievable here, the 6th and stuff. I think Arsenal will probably pull away again and stuff, but as I said before, you can get a little bit of momentum going and you know, get these wins and whatever in terms of the home games that we've got, then you know we will stay around there. And obviously like Watford and Bournemouth, they're doing very well at the moment, but I think they will tail off potentially.
You can often expect them to drop off after the Christmas period, even though Bournemouth are playing really good at the moment. But I've actually enjoyed watching them when they've been playing. And
even Wolves as well at the moment as well, probably the table as well, so they're a real tricky side at the moment. So
Leicester, following their recent troubles, they'll have a point to prove. They'll want to be going all out now. Again, that'll be shit or bust for them. They'll be wanting to prove themselves, as a thank you to their lost chairman, and they'll be like, well, we've got to be there to compete as well. We've got to be willing to do it. We've got to be prepared. Definitely. And it starts next Saturday. It starts there. We get that win, I think we'll be comfortable.
And no injuries. We don't want injuries.
Well, yeah. Well,
I think one of them games, if you can go like 2-0 up maybe, or 3-0 potentially, and then bring Richarlison off and Sigurdsson off, whatever, and just rest them for obviously the big game in the following week. So we'll see what happens.
Spot on. So that just about wraps it up for the post-match review today. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, and the little like and subscribe bit. Comments down below if you've got any questions for me and Callum. Give us a shout. Callum, thanks very much for coming on. Better looking than Paul, so anything's a bonus.
Get well soon, Paul.
Yeah, get well soon, Paul. Get rid of that AIDS and you'll be sound. Till then, just wanted to drop on. We were brought to you today by Fan Ales, so keep checking fanales.co.uk. You haven't tried this yet, have you?
I have tried it.
Oh, yeah, you did the first time. I forgot about that. So it's available in the Falcon for £3.50 a bottle, and it's also available online on their Facebook page. Till then, up the fucking toffees. We'll see you in a bit.